Good morning. Suppose we want to study the relationship of temperature and converted sugar. When we say relationship, we're trying to determine the correlation or the degree of the linear relationship between two variables x and y. So kapag tumataas ba yung temperature, what happens to the converted sugar? Or pag bumababa ang temperature, what happens to the converted sugar? Pero in your test for relationship, ano lang yan? We will just want to know the direction of the relationship and the magnitude. Okay, when we say direction, kung positive ang value niya, we have a positive relationship. If negative yung value niya, we have a negative relationship. A positive relationship means if one variable increases, your other variable also increases. Or the positive relationship means they have the same direction. Kung lumiliit yung x, your y will also decrease. Now, kung negative relationship, they have an opposite direction. So for example, if your x increases, your y decreases, or the other way around. Ganon, no? As to the magnitude, it would be a value ranging from negative 1 to positive 1. Okay? So let's have this number line. Okay, from negative 1 to positive 1, we have a 0 here. If the value of your, or the magnitude of the correlation is between zero point 0.5 to positive 1, we have a high positive relationship. Kapag dito naman, we have a mild positive relationship. Then, if we have a negative zero point 0.5 here, if the value of your correlation is between this number, we have a high negative relationship. Dito naman, we have a mild negative relationship. But, if the values is very close to 0, we call that weak correlation, or some books will call it zero correlation. Okay. Now, ito yung data natin, no? Ito. Now, our formula, we call that correlation coefficient. We need a coefficient of the correlation. This is computed by the Pearson product moment correlation coefficient R with this formula, n times summation of x sub I, y sub I, meaning you take the product of x, y, and then get the sum, minus summation of x sub I, you get the sum of x, multiply that with the sum of y. Okay, all over, we have the square root. The first factor here, we have n times summation of x sub I squared, minus summation of x sub I quantity squared. And the second factor under the square root, we have n times summation of y sub I squared minus summation of y sub I quantity squared. Okay. Let's have, now your data. Let's have your data. Asan yung data? Ganito, no? How many observations do we have? How many paired observations do we have? Bakit paired ang tawag dyan? Kasi we are actually looking at relationship of a bivariate variable. So, dalawa yan. So, for each process, kinuha yung temperature value and the converted sugar. Okay, so what we need here is the summation of yung mga ganyan. So, how do you get that one? If you have this column for the x values, you have also for the y values. Yung kanina we have 1, tapos 1.81, 8.1 rather. Now, you will need to get the x squared. Square of this is 1. You will need also the square of y. So, 8.1 squared, that's 65.61. You will need also the product of your x, y. So, 1 times 8.1, we have 8.1. You will do that for the rest of the observation. Paired observations, x, y. Okay? Itutuloy nyo yan. You may use the Excel to help you. Because what we need only is the summation of x sub I. The summation of x sub I is we have summation of x sub I, we have 16.5. Then summation of y sub I, we have 100.4. Summation of x sub I squared, we have 25.85. Tapos summation of y sub I equal to 923.58. And then summation of x sub I, y sub I, this is equal to 152.59. Now, let us substitute the values so that we will know the degree and the direction of the relationship of your temperature and converted sugar. So, what is our n? Ilang observations yon? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11. Okay, there were 11 observations times the product of your the sum of the product of your xy. We have computed that a while ago. We have 152.59. Okay, times summation of x sub I, 16.5, times 100.4. Okay, all over, we have the square root. We have 11 times 25.85 minus 16.5 squared. Okay? Ito is, inisa-isa nyong square yung x sub I and then get the sum of that. Okay, we have 11 times 923.58. Okay, minus, how is that? 100.4 and quantity squared. Okay, so that is equal to, what is that number in the numerator and the factors below the denominator, below the square root, or inside the square root rather. Okay, our value for the numerator, we have 21.89. Okay, the first factor in the under the square root, we have 12.1, and then we have 79.22. So this is equal to 0.71. So as to the direction, this has a positive value. So positive ang relationship ni converted sugar and temperature. Ibig sabihin, habang tumataas yung sugar, yes, and tendency then the temperature increases. And then our magnitude is closer to positive one. So it has a highly positive relationship. Yan, highly positive relationship. Okay? That's it. So for a coefficient, or the correlation coefficient, we can see the direction of the relationship and the magnitude of the relationship.